Welcome to Croft and rounds 5 and 6 of the spectacular Tegiwa Civic Cup. In the paddock, Matt Suckling's been chatting to some of the drivers.
Stu Neal racing within the Tegiwa Civic Cup here this weekend at Croft. 4 races so far this year, and it's been pretty good results inside the top 10 on all 4 counts.
Yeah, I mean it's been difficult because it's my first try at this, but yeah, I mean I've been happy with the top 10 finishes that I've got, and because it's a bit of a struggle getting through the smash up at Brands, so I was lucky to be able to pick my way through that and come out unscathed, and yeah, just gave it everything, and it worked out well.
And today we're here at Croft, which is a fairly new circuit for many people. How are you getting used to that?
Yeah, I mean it's the first time I've been here. I came on the test day on Friday, and I had a good crack at it Friday. A bit of a play around with the setup all day, really chasing ourselves, but it worked out well in the last session, and I was happy with the results. So then we came to the qualifying, and it worked out well in the qualifying as well.
So you're hoping to work your way through from today's race?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's going to be interesting on the first corner coming down there. I'm hoping. My starts haven't been so good though this year, so that's something I've really got to work on. So I'm going to try and keep the revs down a little bit when I get off the start this time, so I don't end up spinning up. But yeah.
And you're one of the drivers that races within Class B, which is for the more powerful cars. So how does that compare to Class A, and do you kind of catch them up through the races?
Yeah, the Class A cars are quick though, surprisingly. Some of the tracks, obviously, they're quicker than us, and we catch them up in places, and then other places they're quicker, like through the corners, they're lightning, some of them. And certainly Mark Anderson with his car, he's really rapid. So yeah, but no, it's good.
David Buckley racing with the Tegiwa Civic Cup here for rounds 5 and 6 at Croft. We've had 4 races so far, good results on the podium every single race.
Yeah, not too bad. You know, I've come into the series. It's my first time racing in cars. Obviously, I've come up from karting. I've struggled a little bit, and I think I've got a little bit lucky with obviously a couple of DNFs from, you know, Andy Huff and Mark Anderson, and obviously Peter Isherwood not doing the last round. So you know, I've got a little bit lucky. But at the end of the day, it's about keeping the car on the track, and I think I've managed to do that. So yeah.
And as we know, you race within your own class, Class A, which is 1.6 litre cars. How does that compare to the slightly more powerful Class B?
I think the 2 litres have the edge on the straight. Well, I don't think. I know they have the edge on the straight, but when we come to the corners, I think we've got the edge there. So it kind of evens out, but I think, you know, the quick lads in the 2 litres definitely have the edge.
You've qualified probably average for today, 5th place on the grid. Do you reckon you can work your way through?
Hopefully. I mean, as you can see in the background, we've got the gearbox out at the moment. I came testing on Tuesday with a new gearbox, because obviously throughout the year I'm hoping to improve the car and get it better. Come on Tuesday, it was touching on the limiter coming into the braking zone, but with it being a lot hotter yesterday, coming into the braking zone, I was probably on the limiter for 4 or 5 seconds, so I think that really did affect my lap time. So I'm hoping now that with a bit longer fifth, I'll get down the straight a bit better.
Let's have a look at the grid then for the first of 2 races today for the Tegiwa Civic Cup, and it's Carl Swift on pole position, who was 3/100ths of a second faster than Bernard Garlier in qualifying. Endaf Owens and Luke Zedzikowski on row 2, Rob Baker and Mark Higginson on the 3rd row of the grid. Fastest of the Class A cars is Mark Anderson, and we go on board with him now. He's just behind Rodran Vella as the race gets underway. Rodran Vella, the Maltese driver in the number 89 car, one of the 2 litre cars from Class B, but Mark Anderson, who we're on board with, one of the 1600cc cars from Class A. So down and through the first corner at Clairvaux they go. A great sight these cars make, almost 30 of them. Adam Shepherd, now he's a driver to watch from the back of the grid, the championship leader. He qualified down on about row 11 of the grid, I think it was, that he eventually started after some amendments to the grid. And that's because he's had big problems with the diff and the gearbox all weekend so far, and they've really put him on the back foot. But the team have worked so hard overnight to get him out there changing the gearbox. Let's see if he can storm through the field. There is the number 4 car of Stu Neal. We heard from him before the race got underway, and he's qualified well up, I'm pleased to report. Let's see what he can do. Can he break into the top 6? Tegiwa Civic Cup really has gained a big following during the course of this season. That's Luke Zedzikowski there, I think, making a move on the inside of number 2, the ex-stock catch racer Steve Laidlaw. Here's Anderson then. You can see Adam Shepherd might be the championship leader, but in that familiar purple and white livery, he's still got the novice cross on the back of the car. Well, this spoils the look of it, doesn't it? Hopefully Adam will get rid of that quite soon once he's got a few more races under his belt, and already he's made up quite a few positions. He's now challenging up on the inside there at the second part of the complex. I think that's Vela that he has gone past. Anderson on the brakes, closes right in on both of them. They avoid contact and they make their way out of the hairpin and through to complete the first lap of this race. But it's been a very good first lap from Adam Shepherd then, up from well, outside the top 20. You can see the running order, and Shepherd in number 17 up to 12th position already, so he's made up roughly 10 places so far. So there's Neil going through. Just behind him is Rob Baker, who won several races during the course of last season, but this of course is the first year when it's counted for points, when there's been an actual championship at stake for the Tegiwa Civic Cup. Now there's a challenge on for the lead of the race here. It's Bernard Garlia challenging Carl Swift for the lead of the race. Carl Swift, surely the fastest mortgage advisor that there is out there. He's leading the race. He had 13 years in autograss racing, and he had a year in Brisker F1 and a year in Stock Hatch as well. Well, the pressure's just been alleviated slightly from him there. I think Garley made a bit of a mistake at Sunny, and he's dropped back into the clutches of the former mini champion Endaf Owens. So Swift it is that leads in number 45 from Garlia. Second, Owens, the Welsh driver, in third place, the 2011 Mini Melia champ. They've got quite a big gap over the rest of the field already. This is for the overall lead and for Class B, of course. We'll try and pick up what's going on in Class A as the day goes on. But for the moment, let's focus on this three-way fight for honours overall. And you can see it's 45 from 91 from 20. Of course, on the first flying lap, they've all set pretty good lap times there, and actually Owens was the fastest of the three, at 39.00 for him, 39.06 for Garlier, 39.12 for Carl Swift. There's a change there. That's McNabb in the 69 car going through. Malcolm McNabb, the Glaswegian driver, making up some ground, but there's a flapping bumper there. Now the officials might have a look at that and decide that that's worthy of the meatball flag. That's the black flag with the orange spot on it, which warns a driver that there's a problem that you might not know about and you might need to call into the pits with. So that's McNabb in one of the Class B cars ahead of Anderson then. I think in actual fact it might well be Tim Evans that's leading the way as far as Class A is concerned at the moment. We'll try and pick that up in a moment. You can see there you've got the two FN2 cars were together. Sedjikovsky ahead of Mark Higginson, who was 5th in the championship coming into this weekend. Good to see these more modern shapes of car out here in the Civic Cup and running pretty competitively now. A heavier car than some of the slightly older machinery. Maybe not quite as fleet of foot. Now there's Sam Hathaway. Oh, gets a little bit of a kiss from Adam Shepherd. That was very friendly of him as they turned their way out of the second part of the complex and out towards the hairpin. Sam, who raced in Mighty Minis last year, has gone up a notch or three in terms of the power that these Civic Type R's put out. Power wasn't a problem that Adam Shepherd was overwhelmed with yesterday, because the VTEC wasn't working and he was well down on BHP compared to some of the other cars qualifying. What a great move that was from Shepherd, ahead of Hathaway into Clervaux corner, riding the curve, very spectacular indeed. And Shepherd, in his first season of racing, having done some karting in the past from 2008 onwards in junior Rotax and then senior Rotax as well, he makes up another place and passes Samuel Hathaway. 6 laps completed then, and Sedjikovsky and Higginson in the unofficial battle for FN2 class honours. They make their way into Clervaux corner. Sedjikovsky, this is the third different car that we've seen him race in the Series and Championship over the past season and a bit. Through Hawthorne they go, and now towards the chicane. As the cars come through here, Rodman Valley you can see in his orange car. He's just behind number 2, and also involved a bit further down than we might have expected is Danny Wins Danny. Now Danny, of course, won the first 2 rounds of the championship at Donington Park, but then had a Brands Hatch meeting to absolutely forget because he got involved in first lap incidents on 2 occasions. Oh, and problems there. That is the 79 car, is it not, of Paul Turner, and he's turned around there. And one of the older cars on the grid, a Class A machine. That pistachio shade of bluey green. Tchaikovsky a little bit slower out of sunny corner. Higginson is all over the back of him now, kicks up the dust on the exit of the corner, is in the tow. Tchaikovsky driving right up the middle of the road. Higginson tries to go to the right, which could give him the line for the second part of the complex, but he can't quite get alongside, or can he? Well, he's just about alongside now, but he's going to be on the outside line for the hairpin, so he's going to have to try and drive all the way around the outside of Tchaikovsky. This is the battle for, what, 5th position, I think it is? And, well, it's not quite worked out for him just yet as we go back to the leaders, and it's still, in actual fact, very close indeed between Carl Swift leading, Bernard Garlier in 2nd, and Endaf Owens in 3rd place. But look at the gap that they have over the rest of the field. Here we go, on board with Mark Anderson then. He's still got that Malcolm McNabb flappy bumper car up ahead of him. And, oh, who's that stopped? It's Stu Neal. Well, that's in a rather exposed position, isn't it? On the right-hand side of the straight. Oh, brave man, Stuart Neal, getting out of his car there. I'd run away as quickly as I possibly could. Now, yeah, just struggling to get the door shut there, but that might have been because a belt was hanging in the way. Final lap of the race then, and it's still pretty close for the lead. Carl Swift, who has had 1 win so far this season, he's had a 2nd and a 3rd as well. 1 driver so far this season has finished on the podium in Class B and overall in all 4 races. That's Adam Shepherd. He's not going to do that today, but he's had a decent run in actual fact. There's Garlier there, I think, in his efforts to try and get past Swift, locks up. Garlier, a winner at Castle Combe last season. He's out there in the number 91 car, in this car that's new for this season, prepared by Area Motorsport. It was a winner at Anglesey for Garlier last year, wasn't it? Not Castle Combe, although he did show well there as well. Into Sunny then for the final time. Are we going to have some late drama here? Is the podium order going to be upturned, I wonder? And these 3 cars, they're actually winning quite similar liveries, so not immediately easy to distinguish from a distance. It's still Swift from Garlier. Owens, though, can just about make that out into the complex for the final time, and through on the inside goes Owens. Oh, and that was a bit clumsy. It's taken off the bumper of Bernard Garlier, and the order actually is going to be as it was, but the gaps are going to be exaggerated. It was a last-minute lunge, really, from Owens, I think, trying to find a way through on the inside. As it happens, doesn't affect the order, and it doesn't affect Carl Swift, who takes the checkered flag by an exaggerated margin in the end of more than 2 seconds from Garlier and Owens in 3rd position. Well, let's have a look at the results from that first of 2 races today in the Tegiwa Civic Cup. Let's start with Class A, and it was Tim Evans that took the win there. Mark Anderson was 2nd, Andrew Huff 3rd, and Peter Isherwood, Anthony Turner and Nick Chatburn completing the top 6. Chatburn actually got the fastest lap as well. Class B and overall then, Carl Swift the victor, from Garlier and Owens as we saw. Higginson getting the better of Tchaikovsky, who actually finished in 6th place behind Baker.
Carl Swift, another great drive today and another victory after Brands Hatch. How was that for you?
Brilliant, that's the 2nd one in a row now, so hopefully we can make more of them, but starting from 10th in the next race, so I've got some work to do.
Surely going to be a hard work, but what happened towards the end there? Very, very congested with you 3.
It was. I was backing everybody up, to be fair, trying to control the exits, which makes it difficult to pass around here, and it was successful. And then there was a bit of a coming together between Bernard and Endaf on the 2nd to last corner, which gave me a bit of breathing space to come over the line.
Really good race, well done, Cole.
Thank you very much.
Bernard, a 2nd place there on the podium once again, just like Brands Hatch. Lots going on in that race as well.
Yeah, it was a good race. We were battles with Carl and Duff all the time, so Carl was making his best to keep us away from him, and Duff was putting lots of pressure on me as well, but yeah, 2nd place again.
It looked like the car had a bit of damage as well.
Yeah, it was in last corner in the last lap, and went on the inside of me and took the front bumper off. So.
Still a good result. Well done, Bernard.
Yeah, thank you.
Endaf Owens on the podium, third place there. How was that race? It was a little bit chaotic by the looks of it.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the race. We're keeping the car felt really good, but it's such a hard track to pass. And I had one move mid-race against Bernard, and I just locked up as a passenger in the side of him. So, and the last lap, then there was a gap for the hairpin for the right-hander. I got a wheel in the grass and just slid me straight on. So it was enjoyable, third on the podium, and nice for Carl to win. So ready for race 2.
And of course, you three really did have the pace. You pulled away from most of the rest of the field.
Yeah, I was surprised actually. We made a gap after the first half a lap and managed to not battle too much with each other for the first lap or two, and then we pulled away. So it was good.
Good podium. Well done, Endaf.
Yeah, thanks very much.
The grid for race 2 has the top 10 from the finishing order in race 1 reversed. So it's Danny Winstanley on pole position alongside Stephen Laidlaw, then Sam Hathaway, Adam Shepherd, Luke Sedgwickowski and Rob Baker, with further back the best of the Class A cars being the race 1 class winner, Tim Evans. Lights out then, away we go for the second race of the day, round 6 of the Tegiwa Civic Cup here at Croft Circuit, and it's a very congested track as they head down towards Clervaux. Winstanley it is that leads. Laidlaw is still there in second place. Garlier trying to make up ground on the inside. Vela kicking up a bit of dust on the outside of the circuit. So they all make it through Clervaux corner safely. 29 cars starting this race, including at the back Joshua Leake and Stephen Oakes having their first race of the weekend. They have car shares, so they're a bit further back down the order than the pace might necessarily suggest. On board with Mark Anderson, second in Class A earlier on, behind this man, Tim Evans, in the sort of gunmetal grey car up ahead of us, number 23. Anderson, well, he faces Rodrin Vela trying to split those two up as well. I'm sure that Anderson will be very keen to cling on to the boot lid, I should say, of Tim Evans this time, and to be able to challenge for victory with his class in each of the first 2 rounds of the championship at Donington Park. But a bit like Danny Winstanley had a Brands Hatch meeting to forget with that very instant-packed first race of the weekend that we had at Brands. So championship lead coming into this weekend overall was Adam Shepherd from Swift and Garlier, and in Class A it was Buki from Steve Slawson and Anthony Turner, with Anderson down in 4th in the Class A standings prior to this weekend. So already coming through towards the end of the first lap of the race, there's Vela, and there's Andrew Huff, the 27-year-old joiner in the Class A car. He's running 3rd within class at the moment, with the Class B machines getting in between the A's, as Winstanley leads. Shepherd, after that remarkable drive in race 1, in 2nd place. In 3rd place it's the 20 car, and that of course is Endaf Owens. So that's your first 3 at the moment. A gap back, it looks like Carl Swift, who started 10th, is already up into 4th position as well. Certainly the reversed grids do make for very exciting racing, and in this case it's helped out 2 of the drivers that have possibly not had weekends that have quite gone to plan so far, in Winstanley and Shepherd. Shepherd, the only driver to finish on the outright podium in all 4 races before this meeting. We'll look to try and make it 5 from 6 today, as we watch Rob Baker, number 6, go through. Baker, who finished 5th in race number 1. He's the driver that doesn't feature, though, in the top 10 of the Class B standings thus far. The rider Class B for the 2-litre machines, Class A for the 1.6 division. So Shepherd trying to fend off Owens there, as we've got a pit lane visitor, and it's Stu Neal, I'm afraid to say. Well, he was that retirement from race 1, the only retirement in fact from race 1, with 28 of the 29 cars finishing, showing good reliability there. But Stu Neal, I'm afraid, having had the interview with Matt Suckling before the race, not making it to the end of either. Danny Winstanley gets the fastest lap of the race on the first flying lap. The second lap of the race, a 1:38.14. That's nearly a second faster than Endaf Owens' fastest lap from race 1, so track conditions possibly improving as the day goes on here at Croft. We're coming towards the end of the day's racing. On board with Vela again. He started this race on the 6th row with the 2 Maltese drivers. The Maltese Tourist Authority getting behind them as well. Tegiwa massively out of shape there into Tower Corner, and Mark Higginson therefore can make his way through. So this looks like it's Laidlaw, then Higginson, then Tegiwa, and the next car through is going to be Baker, I think, in the number 6 machine. Then it looks like Sam Hathaway is next. Sam racing here this weekend, although his father Martin is not. His car was damaged at Brands last time out. Now someone has been very out of shape there, and it was Winstanley, I think, wasn't it? It was our race leader, Danny Winstanley, had a big moment there at the complex. Well, that was a very strange incident. He's got back on, but he's lost quite a few places. Oh, with Anderson now. Anderson has got through into the lead of Class A as well, I think, so that's good news for him. Steve Laidlaw, number 2, in 6th position, just ahead of the 2 FN2, the more modern shaped cars, and then Rob Baker, so that's 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Sam Hathaway completing the top 10. And here at Croft we are seeing that the more powerful Class B cars are coming into their own a bit more, probably thanks to the length of the straights here, whereas actually the gap between Class A and Class B was much smaller at the tighter Brands Hatch circuit for the last meeting. And we had Class A cars further towards the sharp end in the overall running order. Now Tegiwa there is falling back from Higginson into the clutches of Baker. It's Hathaway that's next through. Here comes Higginson now, looking down the inside of Laidlaw at Barcroft. Well, that's not really an overtaking opportunity, but Sonny might be. Constant radius corner if you can get it right. There's Roger Ravella here doing battle with the car of Malcolm McNabb. And down towards the left-hander at the complex, the 25-year-old graphic designer. And off there, that is the number 69 car, or that is McNabb, who we were just talking about, wasn't it? Straight on, a long, long way over the grass into the tyre barrier. Remarkably, not too much damage. Well, there we have Adam Shepherd making his way through. He's now in 3rd position behind Carl Swift. It's Endaf Owens that's up in the lead of the race now. Owens has been on the podium before this weekend, just the once in actual fact. That was at Brands Hatch, although he's been there or thereabouts in many of the races. A bit further back, that looks like the 55 car of Chris Coomer. He's just ahead of Tim Evans. Tim Evans is just ahead of Andrew Huff, and that's the battle for 2nd place within Class A. They're getting mixed up with the Class B machines. It looks like they've also got Peter Isherwood involved in that as well. Now, Peter Isherwood is a driver who was twice on the podium at the opening meeting at Donington. So we've got 3 Class A cars having a good battle together there. Lap 7 now completed then, so just 2 more laps to go in this race. And the battle really here for 2nd position within Class A, because Mark Anderson is just that bit further up the road. Tim Evans had the class win earlier on. Can he do the same again today? So it's Chris Coomer, who was an outright winner at Cadwell Park towards the end of last season, that's just at the head of this little group. He's in 12th position, Huff 13th, Evans 14th, and Isherwood in 15th spot. Note that further up the order we've lost Rob Baker as well, so he's been a retirement from this race, having been battling with the likes of Tegiwa a bit earlier on. Tegiwa there is just back in behind Mark Higginson again, so the gap has come down. Higgins just behind Steve Laidlaw, number 2, who did some racing in the Stock Cats Championship last season, so one of a few drivers who have made the switch from other championships organised by the 750 Motor Club, liking what they saw with the Civic Cup sharing the bill during the course of last season. There's number 20, Endaf Owens, going on to his final lap of the race then. It's looking relatively well sorted up front now, with Swift second and Shepherd in third. He started fourth on the grid, and after the weekend he's had, I'm sure Shepherd will be quite chuffed to get a third place finish, to go with a 7th in race 1, and actually it won't do his championship hopes too much harm, I don't think. He's 4 points clear of Swift coming into this weekend, and then Garlier was a further 17 points back in third position. Owens was fourth in the standings coming into this weekend, so 2 podium finishes, one of them a victory, will do his hopes no harm at all. They're just lapping there the number 179 car of Stephen Oakes. I think it's going to be the only driver to get lapped in this race. So we've had 2 non-finishers, Neil and Baker, 1 driver lapped, and 26 cars all expected to finish on the lead laps, providing they get round the last mile or 2 of tarmac. Owens, though, one of a number of drivers to have tasted podium success so far this season in the Tegiwa Civic Cup. He's about to have his first win of the season. He'll become the 4th different winner in 6 races after Danny Winstanley, Adam Shepherd and Carl Swift, with Stanley and Swift both winning twice. Out of the final corner he comes then, and up towards the line, and it's going to be Endaf Owens then that wins round 6 of the Tegiwa Civic Cup here at Croft, from in second place Carl Swift. It's going to be Adam Shepherd that does come across the line in third place, Bernard Garlier in 4th. Now Class A yet to be resolved into the complex for the final time. This is the battle for second position. Mark Anderson just that bit further up the road. I think he's got this one sealed, but into the hairpin for the final time. It doesn't look like we're going to have a change in order. Tim Evans not quite close enough to challenge Andrew Huff up to the final corner and out of the final corner, so it's going to be Huff that takes a very good second position and Tim Evans third. Confirmation of those results then, Mark Anderson it was taking the class win. He got the fastest lap and lap record as well, a 1:41.52, 4 100ths faster than Chatburn managed in the first race. On to the 2 litre division, Endaf Owens taking the win from Carl Swift and Adam Shepherd. Garlier, Winstanley and Steve Laidlaw completed the top 6, and as we mentioned, those 2 non-finishers were Baker and Neil.
Endaf Owens, winner of the 2nd Civic Cup race and your first of the year, well done.
Thanks very much, enjoyed that. I think we were 8th in the grid, and I tried a few different things to get off the line because I've been having a bad start with them, so I tried something that was either going to stall or have a good start. We managed to get up to, I think we were up to 3rd coming out of the first corner, so we just dug in, and lucky for Danny, he had a good lead, to be fair. He was holding good pace, so I was just settling for second and trying to, but he went off and we were gifted with a lead then. So
what do you think when Danny actually went off?
Shit, I hope it doesn't happen to me. No, it's lucky for him, to be fair. He was mega quick, and we had a good gap, and then luckily Carl and Shepherd were having a bit of a battle together, so it gave me a bit of a gap, and seen the last lap flag, slowed it down. I think steady last lap, and it came around the corner. It was another last lap. I thought, but no, it was good, happy.
Yeah, Carl was catching you there, but you did a great job to hold on to the win. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much. Cheers.
Carl Swift, 2nd place this time round, and you did a great job towards the end to catch Endaf as well.
I did, yeah, from 10th on the grid to get up to 2nd's fantastic, so really happy with that, and I think a couple more laps I could have been on his bumper, but passing round here is a different story.
And of course Stock Hatchet was last year. You're now getting to grips with these Civic Cup cars.
Yeah, absolutely, they're fun, fast, and some good competition as well.
Looking forward to the next one?
Yeah, I'm now. Big break though, 8 weeks, so off to Anglesey. Never been there before, so that's going to be the first time this year I've raced at a track that I've not raced on before. So
2 more great results here at Croft this weekend. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Adam Shepherd coming home in 3rd place. First off, talk about race 1. What a drive through the field.
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble with the gearbox and diff playing up, and I had no VTEC in qualifying, so ended up qualifying like 23rd. But yeah, it was a good drive through. I clipped the tyres through the chicane, pushing a bit hard, which bent the shock and had a load of understeer. But yeah, quite pleased with 7th, and yeah, it was okay.
And then race 2, of course, you managed to get yourself inside the top 3. Great battle for the lead, and then you just kind of dropped back, but still on the podium.
Yeah, just wasn't fast enough. Just so much understeer. I know the guys put new rubber on as well. I don't know if that helps. Coming out of the chicane, I jumped out of 3rd gear, So that's how Kyle got past me, but he was too quick anyway. So
With all the problems, all in all, good weekend.
yeah, can't complain after qualifying to have a 7th and a podium. Yeah, I can't complain.
Great stuff. Well done, Adam.
Thank you.
That's it from Croft. We'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.